Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. In this video, as you can see, I am standing in front of my Bee King. What a bike this is. I do not regret getting rid of the MT-09 over this thing. This thing is lovely. And like I say, I love the bike to bits, I love the way it looks, I love the way it handles, I love the way it performs. However, there's still a few little niggles that I'm wanting to change out just to make the bike more my own. And to be honest, the previous owners have gone quite the way of doing that, such as basically putting in things like the black rear sets here, which are very, very nice, and putting things in like the Scorpion exhaust system and putting the tail tidy on. However, there's still one area of the bike which I really want to change out, and that's the chrome parts. Now, the reason why I got a black bike is because it looks mean and aggressive. And don't get me wrong, chrome with black in certain scenarios and for certain people does work. It's kind of a contrast, and a lot of things that contrast do look good. However, on the Bee King, I find it just takes away a bit of that aggressive, angry kind of feel of the bike. Especially the top dash panel, which just reminds me of like a cruiser style kind of dash on a big tank for a cruiser. So what I'm wanting to do is, I'm wanting to kind of take this chrome out of the mix. Now, there's a number of ways I could have gone about this. One is paint them, which is kind of the obvious way to do it. However, once you've painted these panels, you can't revert it back. If you were selling the bike and the person wanted stock or whatever, I want to try and keep these panels on the bike, so that means I'm going to swap them out. I could also hydro dip them as well, but yet again, same problem. Now, clutch cover is the easiest thing because you can actually get one of these off eBay for the Hayabusas, which are black, and those are a direct fit, and there would only be a couple of quid anyway from a breaker, so that's an easy fix. However, the top dash panel here is chrome in every version of the Bee King: silver, blue and white, black, it's all chrome. So, what I've actually gone and done is, I've bought some carbon fibre parts for both these items. So, I'm going to change that out for carbon fibre parts, and I'm also going to change the clutch cover, and I think that'll just take enough of the chrome out of the bike just to kind of dull it down and make it look a bit more stealthy. So what I've done is, I've gone to Powerbronze, I've bought those two parts, and I'm now going to go into the kitchen, I'm going to show you around them, and then I'm going to come back out and actually fit them, so we'll see how that goes. So, now that I've shown you what I mean about the actual chrome bits that are on my bike and why I want to change them, obviously there's a couple of solutions I could have gone about it. I could have got them repainted, I could have got them hydro dripped, there's loads of solutions that I could have gone for. However, one of the things that I do like carbon fibre. I know a lot of people says it's a look that's overdone and things like that, but I just do love proper carbon fibre, not hydro dipped or anything like that. And there's a lot of parts for the Bee King that you can get made out of carbon fibre from multiple companies. However, I've decided to go for Powerbronze. One of the people I actually ride with has the Powerbronze show bike, which I'll stick up now. He bought it a couple of years back, and I actually asked him how good the Powerbronze kit was, and the reply I got was, well, I've swapped most of it out because I don't like it. So, anyway, so I've on the back of that, I've gone and bought some. That's the logical way to do it. But anyway, I actually went on the Powerbronze site a couple of weeks ago, and these were, for both of these, which I've got the dash panel there and the clutch cover, are actually, well, they're under 100 quid, which you can't go wrong with because they're on offer. And I thought, right, well, since they're on offer, and there was only one of these in stock, and there was 3 of these in stock, so these have actually only took 3 days to come, which I'm quite surprised at. A lot of people said the delivery wasn't too good. However, I thought, right, I'm going to take a punt, I'll see how they are. For the price they are, can't really complain, and it just basically blackens the bike a bit and takes all that chrome panelling off. The biggest thing's going to be this dash, which, like I say, the chrome style, even though I've got the carbon fibre stickers on it, it just looks, it shouts cruiser to me, and the bike just, it's not, I want it black, I want it mean, and this is the parts that I'm going to do it with. So without further ado, I think I'll unwrap them out of the package, and these came in a massive box, and I think the packaging, that much packaging for this is a bit daft, but I'm guessing they just have one packaging, well, type of package for everything. So anyway, let's open it up. We'll start with the clutch cover first, because this is the smaller part. So if I just rip that off, nice little bag here. Now, like I say, there's a few companies that do these sort of things. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, you can see my face in it. That is very nice and very light. I do like a bit of carbon fibre. It does, ooh, like I say. You can get these in gloss, which this one is, as you can see, it's got a clear lacquer over the top, or you can get them in a matte finish. These are in stock, so you can pretty much get these off the shelf from Powerbronze, but if something's out of stock, it's got a 28-day delivery, so it is quite a long time wait if it's not in stock, and because the Bee King isn't actually produced no more, I'm guessing a lot of these parts for the Bee King are produced as and when they are ordered. I was just lucky that they had the actual dash panel. I had one left in stock. I checked it the other day and it is back on a 28-day lead time. But yeah, the quality of that is quite good. Like I say, Powerbronze, it's all carbon fibre. Now some of them, there's a company, I've forgotten who, it's Composite something or other anyway. They do two variants. They do either a full carbon fibre, which is quite expensive, or they do a fiberglass with a carbon fibre layer over the top, which is kind of like fake, if that makes sense. But Powerbronze is quite good. As you can see, it's all carbon fibre, light as a feather, as you would expect from carbon fibre. I have had mixed, like I say, me mate who has the Powerbronze bike actually said he didn't like the Powerbronze stuff. I've had a load of people saying they don't fit and you have to widen the holes and things like that, and I've had other people say they are perfect, and they do a lot of screens as well. But yeah, that's quite nice. Now the more interesting one which I want to get on with is this, because this is a big hump of carbon fibre and it's all one piece, and the dash panel itself is quite a complex shape, and it's not like, that's obviously, this cover is just flat with a few holes in it. It's not really that complex, whereas this one is very complex, and that looks very tasty. This is the first time I've had them out of the bag actually, and you can't see the finish through the bag, but yeah, the quality of that is quite good. You can tell when carbon fibre is good when the weaves kind of all go in the right way, because sometimes you'll find carbon fibre products and you'll see the weave somewhere down, it kind of just diverts off in different directions, and that's when the actual sheets haven't actually been laid properly. But I can't really complain with that finish, and that looks stunning. Does look stunning. Like I say, it might be another matter when I come to fit it on the bike, but yeah, and as you can see, it's all carbon fibre, it's not fiberglass underneath or anything. This is the real McCoy. And I think both this and me little clutch cover here, when these are on the bike, this will just basically improve the looks no end. Because I do think, I know the chrome, and some people like the chrome on the bike, it's a nice little highlight, don't get me wrong. However, especially having the black, if it was on the silver bike I would kind of accept it more, but because it's on a black bike, the contrast between the chrome and the gloss black is just very kind of chalk and cheese, and I don't particularly like that. If I was going to have any contrasting colour on, well, any colour on a black bike, it would be red, as you can see with my calf racer, because I think that does go, and some parts on that Bee King are red. But I think overall those look quite tasty. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set this all away. I'm going to throw the rubbish away before my wife comes in and tells us off. But I'm going to get the Bee King out the shed, and I'm going to quickly fit them with Hughes there, and we'll see how easy they go on. I'm presuming this one's going to be literally just undo 4 bolts, well 4 bolts, 3 bolts, and that should just screw on quite nicely. This one, I think you unscrew the actual filler cover, and I think there's 2 bolts at the back, and we also need to take the centre kind of description panel off the ignition, so that might be slightly harder to do, but we shall have a crack of it, should we? And it seems to have got a bit sunny outside, so I'm going to go and get the Bee King out, and you'll join me in a couple of minutes. Well, I've just had a right laugh, haven't I? Laugh at myself, because I said it was going to be easy, and I shouldn't have said that, because it was not. It was far from easy. It's been frustrating, actually, very frustrating, and after this experience I will not be buying Powerbronze again. End of. I should have listened to people, but hey ho, I'm stubborn. First off, drilling carbon fibre is not fun. So the first thing I've done is kind of lined up the holes and drilled. Now, these here, these little kind of mounting points, I would have thought would have had like a medium behind, like wood or something that I would drill into. They do not. So basically what I've done is, or what's happened is I've drilled a little pilot hole using a very small drill bit, literally like that. Drilled it in, went through, fine. I've then went for a slightly bigger drill bit, which is lying around. It's actually smaller than that bit, but it's bigger than that, there, smaller than that. Gone through. As soon as you go through the carbon fibre, it just falls to the next layer underneath, and that has resulted in 1, 2, 3 very nice defects on the front, because obviously it's damaged the carbon fibre on the front surface, which is shite. There's no instructions with this binnacle, and you're doing that much work to this, there should be instructions. To get the switches to actually fit in the holes, I've had to use a needle file and actually file around the holes, and the B button's still a bit sticky, so I'm going to have to go in there and do that again. The right hand switch here was sitting that proud from the surface. I actually had to put some, if I just turn that around there, some washers at the back to actually pull the switch back a bit so it actually looked semi-decent. And I've also had to elongate the actual holes in the switch mounts, so I've got a little bit of movement there, so when I was actually screwing the switches in, I could constantly adjust the switch angle so I could actually get through the holes. For the price you pay for one of these new, without the discount on that Powerbronze has gone at the moment, these are 96 quid. You shouldn't be paying 96 quid to do all this work yourself. I've basically paid Powerbronze money for me to do their work for them, and that really does pee me off. As an engineer, that pees us off. If I did that in my job, I would be getting a lot of complaints, because I meant to actually, being the engineer, I meant to basically give people a solution where you can just basically plug and play, or it's very minimal kind of work to get it to run. Whereas this thing, I've basically had to engineer it myself, I've had to mark up my own mounting points, and in doing so, I've actually damaged the carbon fibre on the front. So, I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. I'm going to see if I can find a way to actually make these defects a little less obvious. People aren't going to notice them, but I will, so it's just one of those things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go out on the bike, I'm going to go and fit it on the bike, and then we'll see how it looks from there. And yeah, be warned, personally I wouldn't buy this, I would just get that Hydra dipped up painted black. The amount of heartache I've just had with these 3 defects. If these 3 defects hadn't happened, I could live with the work behind it, but those are just a right pain in the backside now. So yeah, don't buy Powerbronze, expensive and you have to do most of the work. Anyway, I'll go and stick this on the bike and I'll see you in 2 seconds. So I've got the carbon fibre parts on. As you can see, I've got my clutch cover on here, which went on quite easily. 3 bolts went straight on, no qualms with that. And then I've got my dash, which was the thing that was a right pain in the ass to fit. Along with the defects here from the drilling, because there was no packaging material for the drill to go into, it just went straight through to the front surface. As you can see, it's left some marks. There's also a massive gap under here, as you can see here. The original one actually kind of follows the line of the tank, so you don't get this massive gap under here. So they've basically just had it on a flat surface and just kind of done it flat, and yeah, you don't really notice it, it's just little things I've picked up on. So what I think I'm going to do is I've got some U-seal in the shed from the Honda, and I'm just going to kind of go under here with that, kind of just put it on around the lip just to take that gap up, and it'll also stop the water from getting in as easily. The original wasn't sealed anyway, so there was still water would get in, but it'll be better than nothing. What I'm going to do, however, I actually emailed Powerbronze saying how disappointed I was with this product, and they got back to us within a day, which, given the due, that was good, offering us either a full refund if I sent this back to them, or partial refund. Now what I've actually done is I've gone for a partial refund, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Sarah at Saragan Customs, who did me Honda, and I've discussed this with her, to do some pinstripe work on this. So basically just do some pinstripe work to cover up all the defects, maybe in red I'm thinking, and then basically once all that's done you wouldn't even know any of that damage had happened. So I'm going to keep it like that, and I'm going to keep that on the bike because I still think it looks better than the chrome one. And yeah, I've also got all the buttons fitted in. The set button's slightly sticky and rubbing on the dash there, but I can't be bothered to take it back off to file it down again. I might do through the Christmas period, but the rest of them work. So yeah, with that I think it looks a bit more meaner and a bit more sleeker. Took a bit more work than I thought I was going to have to put in, but yeah, and like I say, the damage I'm going to get corrected at some point. But I think with that I'm going to leave it there, and as always, keep safe, ride safe, and I shall see you soon.